We now join this breaking news press conference at Misery Sports Company headquarters.
Thank you all for joining us here today for this pre-meeting press conference. I want to address the scandal that has rocked MSC for the last 8 days on Wednesday, October 29th in the year of our Lord 2025. I recorded episode 7 of the Misery Sports podcast, and as was clear from the audio quality of the episode, I failed to check mic levels prior to the episode, including my own, which made the episode sound like I was shouting into a toaster during a hurricane. This mistake will haunt me for the rest of my life. I wasn't sure if I was going to be putting on this headset again, as there's a deep drive into left field by Castellanos, and that will make it a 4-0 ball game. I want to thank my wife and family for sticking by me during this difficult time, as my actions have not aligned with my core values nor the core values of MSC. I will not be taking questions at this time, and I will pass things over to our executive director of Everyday Agony, whose relentless support, along with that of the Stoops family, has gotten me through this. Thank you, and tighten up.
Thank you for those words, Trevor, and thank you all for being here. No one likes to be in this spot, but we do our best to learn and grow from this. We want to assure you and our loyal sponsors and shareholders, especially Mike, the Forgotten Stoops, that we recognize we missed the mark here and are committed to change. Our intention has always been to provide a safe, predictable environment for fans of terrible teams, and that was tough to do through audio that sounded like it was from the Roaring 20s. We are absolutely committed to following through with our internal review of our own actions, in which we will determine we did nothing wrong and should receive no punishment. Nothing speaks louder than actions, and in the following days, weeks, and months, you will see us commit to learning, growing, and pretending like this never happened. I will take a few questions. Yeah, in the front over there.
Yeah, Jack Stanbrier, Obscure Podcast Tribune. It looks like Deshaun Watson.
All right. No. There will be no questions at this time. Thank you for coming, and please stick around for our regularly scheduled shareholder meeting.
Hello, I'm Trevor, your VP of Draft Day Reaches.
And I'm Zach, Executive Director of Everyday Agony.
And this is Misery Sports Company, where loyalty is tested and sanity is optional. If your team has a talent for turning simple games into dramatic disasters, you're home.
At MSC, watching the Browns and Titans is just another line item in our misery budget. We forecast disappointment, hedge with humor, and hope for a miracle.
Our most recent analysis focused on the Ottawa Senators, founded with big ambitions, plagued by mismanagement, and supported by fans who treat optimism like company stock, rising and falling unpredictably, but mostly falling.
That's right. It's business as usual at Misery Sports Co. HQ. Dissect the weekly earnings report, distribute moral victories like corporate swag, comb through the mailroom, and finish with a deep dive and pep talks to keep morale optimistically compliant.
But first, let's pause the suffering for a moment to thank our sponsors, holding strong through decades of questionable outcomes.
This first segment is going to be sponsored by the Ja Morant It Wasn't My Gun legal consulting firm, helping athletes everywhere explain away the unexplainable. From nightclubs to car rides, we specialize in the art of plausible deniability.
So the entire firm is really based on the defense of it wasn't my gun.
Someone's paying. Someone's paying. You go to court.
Someone's paying. Well, thanks to the Ja Morant It Wasn't My Gun firm for holding strong through every setback, heartbreak, and chaotic moment. Honestly, MSC wouldn't survive without you.
That's right. Welcome to MSC's weekly earnings report, where every interception, missed tackle, and crushing defeat is tracked like a depreciating asset.
Let's jump into it. Zach, I'm going to be honest. I went to write the Titans recap earlier today, and I genuinely had to look up what happened because it was so unmemorable that I had no recollection of what happened on Sunday. I knew there was a game. I knew that I was invested in it, and I did not remember. I could not have told you anything that happened. That's where I am in the season. We played the Chargers, And we lost 27-20. Not bad, right?
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
not bad. The Chargers improved to 6-3. Justin Herbert is, I think, a good quarterback.
I would gladly take him.
Of course, that's true. Relatively, he's like football Jesus compared to our teams. I would gladly take him too. So it was a close game. I got what I wanted. I just wanted a close game. Titans fans, we got what we wanted. We wanted close games. It was great on that front. But if you look a little deeper under the surface of that shiny 27-20 final result, you will see that Justin Herbert gifted us a pick six to start. We also had a punt return touchdown from Chim DK, who should be definitely on the all-rookie team. I think he's going to be a Pro Bowl returner. He leads the league in return yards. He's like the one shining spot of this team outside of Big Jeff. Like, he's playing incredibly well. So there's 14 points gifted. Now, mind you, we only scored 20. So then we added 2 field goals to that. No real way around it. Cam had a very bad first half. Looked really bad. At one point, Zach and I were texting each other because we were both watching Red Zone channel. And I don't blame him for not showing Titans stuff. Who wants to see Titans games? Like, nobody. It feels like punishment to watch this team. And so they're very rarely on, even when we are in the red zone. They literally broke in from the Packers game to be like, hey, just wanted to show you this real quick. Look at this Cam Ward throw. And it's like a close-up. It's not a play. I have no context for anything that's happening. It's just a close-up from like the opposite end zone facing Cam Ward as he sidearms a duck that skips 3 yards in front of his receiver. And that was literally the entire highlight. He was like, oh man, that's the former number 1 pick. Just, man, look at that duck. All right, let's get you back to the Packers. Like, what the hell? Why did America need that?
It was very discombobulating because I saw the same thing and I was like, what was that? Like, why did I need this? This is red zone. Like, what are we doing here?
There's no context at all. Like, oh, he's having a decent game, but unfortunately he had this throw. It was literally, look at this freaking terrible throw real quick in the Titans game. All right, let's get you back to competent football. It was really bad, but he turned things around in the second half, started dishing. But per usual, I am back here, Zach, to talk about terrible coaching because I can't escape it. Even when we fire the idiot who got us here, I can't escape bad coaching. Let's go to the third quarter. We're down 3. We started our own 31. We've driven it down to the 8-yard line. Great. Cam has had 3 long completions. There's been a few runs. So we're at the 8. We have first and goal. We're only down 3. So the next 3 out of the 4 plays were runs up the gut. Cam threw once for 6 yards, maybe 7, because we get down to the 1. So it's fourth and goal from the 1, and they called 2 straight plays up the gut. We've seen that before. We saw the movie in the college version. It translated to the NFL. I don't understand. I love that he was confident in going for it because he finally got the memo. You don't have anything to lose. Just go for it. That's great. Mm-hmm. But to call just boring runs up the gut that were immediately stuffed when Cam is confident and you don't even call like one rollout, like give him a chance. It just baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. Or keep it in his hands for a QB sneak. I saw a stat that through 8 games, we've run 2 quarterback sneaks. Are you freaking kidding me? Now that is an indictment. We've probably never been in 3rd and short or 4th and short. I get it. But like, just let him try.
You had a game, and I have a name for this type of game. It's called Fool's Gold, right? Where it's like, Browns do it all the time. It's really close. Sometimes you even win these games. You're like, I have no idea how we won this game. It's because we shouldn't have won this game, and we shouldn't have even been competitive. We had, these special teams, defense, everything starts to
Yes.
align. I feel your pain.
That's the only way we got to win this year was that Cardinals game. Like, their receiver dropped it going into the end zone. They can't fall on a fumble. Like, the weirdest crap happened. So after that, we turned the ball over at the 1. Hey, maybe this will turn out good. Nope, a 9-minute, 99-yard touchdown drive, and that was church. So that's great. I will also rant a little bit later on our play calling. We can't get away from these gadget plays. How many times have we sat here? This is episode 8, and I feel like every week I get on here and we say, if your quarterback is driving down the field, we are inside the opponent's 20. It is 3rd and 2. Why are we calling a direct snap to the running back with Cam Ward on the field? We motion him. It doesn't make any sense. It's 3rd and 2. We've driven 50 yards. I don't understand. We also called a flea flicker on 3rd and 1. Like, no more flea flickers. No more. I'm so sick of it on 3rd and 1. I don't get it, Zach.
Yeah.
I don't get it. This team finds new ways to make no sense and drive me absolutely bonkers. So why don't you balance the books for us? How was your branch of MSC doing?
You know what? It was fantastic because the Browns did not play a game of football. So I had a bye week. I am going to, it's kind of funny. I had a couple of tweets, so I'm gonna introduce one of them. One bit of news from the Browns. So Paul DePodesta, he is the, president of football operations. He's well known for his Moneyball. He actually worked for the Oakland A's back in the day. So I have a tweet from BetMGM because Paul DePodesta is going to be the Colorado Rockies head of baseball operations. So he's actually leaving. And BetMGM says Paul DePodesta's career highlights: played by Jonah Hill in Moneyball, number 1.
Pretty
number
good.
2, guided the Browns to an 0-16 season.
Oh, no.
And number 3, traded for and signed Deshaun Watson. So now he's going to the Colorado Rockies. That sounds like a great fit.
Oh, my
Wish
gosh.
Paul all the best.
That move is wild. Like, oh, we've seen what you did in football, but we're gonna bank on that baseball knowledge still being in there and come on back.
A lot of analytics, which isn't bad, right?
Sure.
But it's driving like every single decision in the Cleveland Browns organization. So it worked for him with the Oakland A's. Wish him all the best. Get out, and we'll try to change things up a little bit. But on the bye week, I actually did a little bit of going around the different leagues, and you and I have different teams, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Different teams that provide us some joy, some disappointment. Of course, Ohio State Buckeyes doing fantastic in football, number 1 team. Thank you so much, because without you, we would be a rudderless ship.
I don't know, man.
It
Yeah, it would be
just-
terrible.
Storm. But I wanted to go around to a couple of the different teams. So on my side, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 5-3. They're doing okay. They've got some injuries. I actually have a funny clip for the mailroom from Donovan Mitchell, but I don't know. With the NBA, it's kind of like the regular season. You just want to get through it and get ready for the playoffs. And then I also looked at the Blue Jackets. They're 7-6 in the NHL.
Not bad.
They're looking okay. They won 4 straight at one point, but now
Dang.
they're 2 down. So they're not looking great in the NHL standings. But when I go to the Dallas Stars, they're looking like they're 4th in their division. So they're having a pretty good start to the season. They're 7 wins, 3 losses, 3 overtime losses. So Stars are looking like they're going to be a pretty good pick in the NHL. They're going to give us a few reasons for optimism.
Hope so.
And unfortunately, I will end with the Dallas Mavericks, who
Good
are
gosh, why?
dead last in the Western Conference. I looked at the offensive ratings. They are dead last in the NBA in offensive rating.
Can I share something about that offensive rating? Did you see the
yes, please
tweet?
share. I don't know that I did.
through 8 games, this offensive rating would rank dead last in the history of the NBA. It is the single worst offense human beings have laid eyes on since we decided the NBA was a thing.
And for those who
Tremendously
don't
bad.
know, Nico, what's his last name? Harrison. I just know him by Nico.
Yeah, Nico motherfucker.
GM for the Dallas Mavericks, traded away Luka Doncic last year, who is, by all accounts, a top 5, if not top 3 NBA player. He took all the heat. He said the defense wins championships, and it is very clear that you have to put the ball in the basket in addition to playing defense. The worst part about all of this is Luka, just looked at his averages. He's averaging 40 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. The Lakers look fantastic, which I hate because I don't want to see the Lakers do well. But here we are.
Nobody
and so
does.
I wanted to
Nobody
share
wants
in the
to see
misery.
that. It's just,
Yeah.
this is the deepest hurt that I have ever experienced from sports. It is like, it gets down to my soul. Like, the misery of being a Titans fan, it's like, well, you know, maybe we'll get him next year. But like, this was, we had it. He was ours. In this absolute moron thinks that he is smarter than the entire NBA world and has to make us watch his project fail. I don't think Nico Harrison is going to last a year because of how spectacularly bad all of this is, which is going to be insane that the season after you trade Luka, you can't even make it because your trade was so catastrophically bad. So bad.
Yeah. And I mean, Anthony Davis is a great player. He's injured. Luka Doncic, we can say stuff about, like, you know, being in shape and this, that, and the other. Why wouldn't you just challenge him? He bought a freaking house in Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't want it to take up the entire segment, but it needs to be said. And there's different levels within Misery Sports Co. There are different teams. Unfortunately, it looks like the Mavericks are going to provide us with some incredible losses on the balance sheet.
Yeah, as it kills my joy of an entire sport.
Hey, you got the Cavs.
Oh, I do have the Cavs. It just hurts. Everything
If they can get
hurts.
healthy, I don't know. We'll see. Another week, another report, and once again, our emotional balance sheet is in the red.
Gosh, how do I go on after that, Zach? Okay. I'm
So sorry.
I'm so sad. Okay, but somebody is paying for this segment, so I gotta shout out to them. All right. Let's recognize our next sponsor, the only thing steadier than our fans' despair. Our next sponsor is from the makers of one of our very first sponsors. One of our very first sponsors was the back of the playbook. Comes an all new, all too familiar product, the front of the playbook. Is your coach inexplicably calling gadget plays after you've driven the ball 50 yards? Tell him that's dumb and nobody wants a direct snap to the running back on 3rd and 2. Turn that play sheet over and call a play action rollout. It's right there. Or hey, what's in the corner? Is that a QB sneak? Try it. It's all there for you on the front of the playbook.
Very well said. The Browns are going to try something new and go to a new offensive coordinator. So Coach Stefanski is not going to be calling the plays. Maybe our
Hey.
offensive coordinator will go to the front of the
Here we
playbook. So we'd
go.
like to thank the front of the playbook for this next segment. And this next segment is the Office of Moral Victories.
Even in the company built on heartbreak, brilliance can occasionally peek through. My employee of the week is actually from the Dallas Stars. He is an employee of the Dallas Stars. It is none other than Daryl Razor Ray, the Dallas Stars color commentary man for both radio and TV. And he is being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame as a media member.
Oh, nice.
He's been
Okay.
there since the 90s. He called the Stanley Cup in 99 and For my money, he is the best thing going. I watch a lot of hockey highlights, so I hear other folks, and there's good ones out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't the Blue Jackets has like one guy? Is it still one guy? Do they have two now?
Yeah, he's still doing it. Yep.
That's crazy. That's impressive on its own, and like a different category to be able to just carry a game by yourself. That's crazy. But Razor is hilarious. He's a former goalie. He was the 46th overall pick in his draft. And he got drafted ahead of like Brett Hull and some like really good players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But unfortunately, he went to an Edmonton team that had two stud goalies. I don't know why they drafted him that high, but he was behind so much talent that it didn't work out. But that was to our benefit because we got the greatness of Razor, and I'm going to play a quick 45-second highlight of some of his greatest calls to celebrate him getting in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
With a full scissor kick to keep that out. That truly was a full frontal lobotomy. This is cheeky. This is as cheeky as a gal. Cheeky. Oh my. He looked like a big kitty trying to grab a ball of yarn in front of the net. Ben goes through everyone like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose. Sometimes you just have to pee in the sink. The options are limited. He is scatological. I might have drank bleach this season if he didn't dress. He's given me a wealth of giggles. Down the board. I mean, obliterated. This is a nectarous, mastodonic, mammoth, tantalizing, sassy, sensational glove grab. Nabokov has just flabbered my gas.
So there is Razor, some of his best calls. Shout out to you. You are my employee of the week.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Full frontal lobotomy. You could say in just about any context, and you're gonna get me.
It's pretty great, but even misery needs a touch of celebration. Congrats to Razor. So Zach, who else earns a moment in the spotlight?
You know what? I'm not gonna say I'm eating crow because I'm not, and because I don't want him on my team. But the Cleveland Browns, you'll remember, I had really pleaded with the Cleveland Browns to get Joe Flacco on the bench, and they did. They went to Dylan Gabriel, and I think they needed to. They're going nowhere. You know, Joe Flacco isn't winning you games. Let him live. So he goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals played the Bears at home this week. Joe Flacco went 31 of 47 for 470 yards,
Good
4
grief.
tutties, 2 interceptions, one fumble lost. And even through that, right?
No, hold
Let's
on.
pause there.
No. Yeah, hold on. Almost 500 yards with 3 turnovers is the most chaotic stat line I've ever heard.
It's pure Joe Flacco. It's essentially Jameis Winston, who the Browns also had. You're going to get the most amazing game. And the Bengals freaking lost 47-42.
In such a heartbreaking way, that last play by Chicago was so funny.
Oh my gosh. So shout out to Joe Flacco. Listen, you weren't going to win the Browns anything. We don't have Jamar Chase. We don't have T. Higgins. You're throwing to some studs. I know you can throw the ball. We don't have that, and you weren't winning, but shout out to Joe Flacco, employee of the week this week. The mailroom never disappoints, Trevor. What treasures await this week in the inbox?
Well, hot off the press, here's a contribution from old Kevin Johnson himself at High Pockets 84. Tis the season. It's trick or treat time around here. We had a fun time with the kids, and every time trick or treat rolls around, that old urban legend of, oh, you got to check your kids' candy because there's razor blades in it. Like, you got to be careful that whole thing happens, or there's, drugs in the candy, whatever. It always spikes. Well, Kevin Johnson shared a funny image that we'll post on our website at miserysportsco.com, as we do every time, where you folks can see our mailroom and our deep dive. He posted, "Please check your children's Halloween candy. We found these inside a Snickers given out by some sick individual. And the image is of a broken open Snickers bar. And there's 2 tickets to a Titans game inside." So Kevin,
Oh no.
he's right. Some sick freak is passing out Titans tickets to kids and subjecting them to the horror. Nobody deserves that. So thanks, Kevin, for a laugh. It's really all I had this week. So Zach, what do you got?
Okay. I've got 2. So one is from the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Donovan Mitchell is their star player. He's had a so-so start to the season, but this last game, he ended up scoring 46 points. And so at the post-game press conference, they asked Donovan Mitchell about the game, and this was his response.
I wouldn't put the game that I had based on the court. This kid pissed me off today. I was playing 2K. I've been playing 2K for like 2 hours, and I told him too. I was like, wait, just wait. And he just called me washed up. He called me a bunch of things, but I love it. You know what I mean? He said he ain't seen a highlight from me in a minute, and I just told him, like, we'll see. He said, tell me to go to sleep. Like he was going in. So this for that kid, grown man, whoever that was. But so I appreciate you. I told him I'd give him a shout out too. So that's what tonight was. I would.
That is incredible.
Number one, the beginning of the NBA season is so boring that you're playing 2 hours of NBA 2K.
Yep.
Number 2, a grown man is talking crap to you and tells you to go to bed. Number 3, you take that and show him and go for 46 points.
Is incredible.
Yeah. That encompasses the beginning of an NBA season very, very well. And then I'm going to go to the NFL kind of. And so the New York Post had a tweet recently where Mark Sanchez's Fox future is in doubt after the Drew Brees hire. So Mark Sanchez was a broadcaster for Fox, and he's gotten into some legal trouble. And Drew Brees is somebody who used to play in the NFL. They're going to hire him on. And shout out to Jarvis_Best, who responded, yeah, to the Drew Brees news, that and the stabbing. Mostly the stabbing, to be honest.
Later role, but also remember the stabbing.
Yeah. If you haven't read up on Mark Sanchez,
Insane.
Please read up. It is the most bizarre story. He's
So
in
insane.
Indianapolis to be a broadcaster on a game and gets into some trouble that I'll let you figure out. Inbox cleared, tweets filed, and the record of fan suffering grows. Thanks for keeping the misery alive.
And thanks to our sponsors, still smiling through every heartbreak and meltdown we deliver.
Yeah, this next segment is going to be brought to you by, actually very closely related to John Morant. This is KD's Courtside Cold Takes microphones, designed for delivering perfectly timed burns like, your son don't want to be here, directly to John Morant's dad, because sometimes the sideline needs more heat than the scoreboard.
Isn't that incredible that like that stuff just happens every NBA game? That interaction was amazing.
Like, that
while
is
he's in
another.
the
There's
game.
got to be a tweet out there with it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to hear the KD stuff, but they have subtitles. Like, your son, he doesn't want to be here. Enjoy your last weekend in Memphis. It's incredible. And like, then he just jogs down the court to go try and score in an NBA game. Okay. It's amazing.
Yep. Got those burner Twitter accounts too.
Oh my gosh.
Let him live.
He's so online. He is probably the most online athlete that I can think.
So props to KD's Courtside Cold Take microphones, keeping the lights on, the coffee brewing, and the rest of us unemployed. And thank you to KD's Courtside Cold Take microphones. Now it is time for MSC's Deep Dive, where tears meet spreadsheets and heartbreak gets logged. Trevor, what have you got for us today?
Oh boy. Some deep dive. Before I actually get into what we're talking about in the deep dive, I want you to know that I really tried to go super old school on this. I tried. I spent maybe 30 minutes looking into this, like, can I get an angle on this? And I really couldn't. But there was a tweet with an image captured from the Titans game on Sunday. CBS put up a graphic to, don't you love when you're watching like a Browns game or something and they're like, what's the most painful graphic we can create to just ramp up the misery? Which again, we talked about this during our break room segment. I get a little defensive when people talk badly about my team that I know is bad more than you know my team is bad. Happens all the time. Or like on Monday Night Football, those really stupid cartoon graphics that look like early Toy Story stuff. And it's like, oh, let's go through all the quarterbacks the Browns have had. Like, no, we don't need to do that. We're aware of it. So CBS, in that spirit, came up with a graphic that said most consecutive games with fewer touchdowns than the opponent. So how many games in a row did you have fewer touchdowns than your opponent? The Titans made the list. This is all time. This is going back before the NFL. Like, we're going back as far as we can with professional football. In first place are the Chicago Cardinals in the 40s. I guess their thing looks like the Bears. I assume they turn into the Bears. I don't know. The Buccaneers.
Let them live.
Yeah, let them live. The Buccaneers in 76-77 had 18 of these consecutive games. The Titans have 14 now. Now 15. We did not have more touchdowns than the Chargers. So 15 games in a row this has happened to us. So we're on our way. If we can just do this 5 more games in a row, gosh darn it, we've got a record. Go Titans, tighten up. But between the Buccaneers at 18 and the Titans at 14 was a team from the 20s called the Dayton Triangles. Have you ever heard of the Dayton Triangles?
They actually popped up in one of my deep dive analysis. Yes, yeah. I don't know much about them, but they were
and
terrible.
Frankly, yeah, they were so bad. And frankly, I don't know a lot about it. Was like looking at the worst team. Where we went to college, the football team folded forever ago because they lost like 120-0. And it was similar to that level of horrendous football. But from 1920s...
And you've got the English language, the dictionary, and you picked the triangles. Like, what?
Their logo is literally a triangle with a football player in the middle of it. It's the saddest looking thing. Like, at least the Chicago Cardinals from the 40s looks cool. This is depressingly bad. The only reason that the Triangles didn't get to continue on with their 17-game streak is because the franchise folded. It just collapsed on itself. It's done. And so I was like, oh, this would be great. Let me look this up. And it was really just like, there was this team called the Dayton Triangles, and they sucked. That's all, folks. So that's a special kind of misery, I guess, if your team folds in the 20s when life seems to be good. So I wanted to do that. We're not doing that. But in honor of the moves that have been happening in the NFL, the biggest trades were dominated by one team. And that team is the New York Jets. So we are going to be talking about the Jets today. They have a couple tie-ins with what we've been talking about. Ironically, I guess, maybe this is why they suck so much. Do you know what the original name of the New York Jets was?
I have no idea. No.
Well, would it surprise you that at one point they were the New York Titans?
Oh no.
Yeah, oh no.
Foreboding.
Yeah, oh no. So it already started out bad. And maybe Nashville should have spent some time with that a little bit before they just decided to go that route. Like, look at what's happening a little bit. Because it was not good stuff. So they were originally called the I don't even think it was like the New York Titans. I think it was the Titans of New York, and they went with that. And
Even better.
I guess it kind of sounds cool, but then that was founded in 1960, and then in 63 they renamed to the Jets. And the reasoning is stupid. The reasoning for all these names, honestly, sports teams are founded on the dumbest premises. Every time we read about these, if it's not a fan poll, it's like people deciding that something is important. Sometime we should go through like renaming stuff, because Guardians has to be at the top, right? Like it's
Yeah, they had the Cleveland Spiders to the Indians, and then the Guardians. So
yeah, and they chose Guardians in part because it ended with the same letters as Indians. So like they're just, these are really stupid reasons, but they named the Jets because they played close to LaGuardia Airport, dumb, and 2, because it rhymed with the Mets that were already playing there. Like, why did that factor in at all? So I don't know. A lot of these teams we've talked about started out horrendously. I think back to Seattle that had such a terrible start to the franchise. Not the case for the Jets. There was one we talked about that started off pretty great. Oh, it was the Jaguars, I think. Like, they were probably the most successful.
Raiders were bumpy, and then they turned out great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Jets won a Super Bowl 9 years later. In 69, they won Super Bowl III. This was when Joe Namath famously declared that he was going to get a win over the Colts, who were heavily favored, and by golly, they did. So that was great. Guesses on how many Super Bowls they have won since?
Ooh, I'm going to say 0.
That
1?
is correct. They have not. In fact, they have not been back to the Super Bowl since 1969 for the 68 season. So tough out there. Hope was high coming off a Super Bowl. The next year they lost in the divisional round, and then you go from 1969 until 1981. Another characteristics of these miserable sports franchises are these long playoff droughts where you're giving nothing. So we get to the 80s. During the 80s, there are 4 playoff appearances. Decently good teams. 85, they finish 11-5, but lose in the wild card round. They get to the conference championship in 82. I'm guessing that this was a strike season because their record was 6-3. So I think this was the strike year, so I don't think that counts. I would have to look into that. But not a lot to write home with. Now, I will say, in the 80s, their defense, they had a nasty defense, and their nickname was the New York Sack Exchange, which is objectively great. So, like, if you have a terrible team, if you can at least find a nickname that rocks. A couple years ago, when the Titans were playing competent football, so like in 2019, they were trying to come up with names for our defensive front, and somebody in jest recommended or suggested the Tennessee Tickle Monsters, and somehow that got back to the players, and they were like, we don't like that. Objectively, that's terrible, which made the fans like it even more. So like there's memes out there of like Elmo and Tickle Monsters, and it's ridiculous, but I think nicknames are cool. Do you recall any Browns like unit nicknames? Or I know you have the dog.
Yeah, none of them I could really repeat to you right now because they probably would be inappropriate.
Sure.
But we definitely have some nicknames.
Okay.
Mistake by the Lake.
Yep. Yep. That's good. Yeah. We've done a lot of growing and learning at MSC, so that's good. We're self-censoring. That's good for us. So let's fast forward 98, they lose in the AFC Championship to the Broncos after going 12-4 with Bill Parcells. The Parcells years were great, but that style of hard coaching can, grate on you a little bit. And so, honestly, looking from that AFC Championship in 98 through 2010, so that's what, like 12-ish years, there's 7 playoff appearances. So like the Jets are around. This is when we go through a super old Vinny Testaverde. Chad Pennington is around. And then you get a year of, or a couple years of Brett Favre. And so now we're at 2009. So you probably remember like the Rex Ryan years. They randomly got to 2 AFC Championship games.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I guess they're really good. They had a great defense. I think this is
Bart
when we
Scott's
got the
flying
Bart
around
Scott.
with an
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's
Can't
flying
wait.
around. He's having a good time. They were making some noise.
It was
Yep.
they had a really, a fun team. They the first one that they lost, so that was in 2009. They lose by 13 to the Colts. It was a close game until the 4th. So that was that was a good team. As a Peyton Manning Colts team. So there's no shame in that. The very next year they get all the way back to the AFC Championship. They lose just by 5 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's, no shame in that. That's also a great team. This is the team I think that beats, is this the Arizona Super Bowl year? No, this is when they lose to the Packers. I was thinking that was the Arizona year. I was off. But they still go all the way to the AFC Championship. So like, hope, that goofy, fickle beast of hope, where you're like, we're getting success. We're probably going to maintain this. This is great. We're going to be okay. The fleeting thing, because that was in 2010, so that was 15 years ago. They have had 0 playoff appearances in the last 15 years. Really, really rough stuff. Thanksgiving 2012. Oh, go ahead.
In the postseason, right? So this kind of ties back to one of our tweets of the week. Getting into the AFC Championship was none other than Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez leading those teams. And like Rex Ryan was a character.
Yep.
Bart Scott, like you mentioned. I mean, it was a cast of characters that really didn't fit. And then they get into that desert, like you said.
And Mark Sanchez reminds me a lot of when we talked about the Jaguars performing well, like a really nasty defense. And then if you just have a game manager back there, that's going to carry you pretty far. That's like the Blake Bortles special. And he gets to the AFC Championship, and Rex Ryan doesn't leave until after the 2014 season. So like, he was around, but in Thanksgiving 2012, Mark Sanchez runs into the butt of his own offensive lineman, hilariously fumbles, and then we have the butt fumble. Just a super bummer of a play to be remembered by. I'm sure that, my favorite play in Titans history, obviously Music City Miracle. I'm sure the Bills fans hate that, but it sucks when you're on the wrong side of Dan Orlovsky and his safety. When you're most memorable for a bad play, that's got to be tough. And sometimes it leads to parking lot altercations before work. Again, go read into that as you will. And so the last 15 years have been rough. We've gone through some coaches, not as many as you would think. We went through Todd Bowles, who is doing great in Tampa. So that's a bummer that it didn't work out, but sometimes coaches need to grow. Adam Gase and his crazy eyes. Remember Adam Gase's eyes and like at
Yeah.
press conferences. He was
It was
there
nuts,
for
though.
yeah, he was there for 2 years. Robert Saleh, future
Okay.
Titans head coach. Robert
No, that's
Saleh.
Steve Sarkisian. Continue.
Don't speak that if okay. As a former mental health counselor, there is nothing worse for Steve Sarkisian's recovery than to go be around the Tennessee Titans. That is not a safe move for him or his family. Don't do it. Just stay away. It's not safe. Robert Saleh, because I need, and I already know, I already hear it. Well, somebody was already there establishing the culture. Yes, I know somebody was already establishing the culture, but we need to go back to that because we tried something and it was a disaster. So I need somebody to come in and establish it, and it's going to be Robert Saleh, and it's going to be great. A few really bad seasons, 5-12. Last year, they're already 1-7. We're battling them to see who can be the worst team. But let's go back to the 18 through 20 seasons. They had Sam Darnold as their quarterback,
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
that's looking like a mistake from moving on. Certainly Zach Wilson was a failed experiment. That was a reach.
Mhm.
But they had Sam Darnold, who now looks very serviceable, at least in the Mark Sanchez, Blake Bortles sense of like, this guy can at least manage a game. I'm sure Jets fans hate that they moved on from him, but they did. They had all of this is this is probably the worst. We'll end on this. It was so bad. So Aaron Rodgers gets signed to the New York Jets. Hope is high. Hope is really high. Aaron Rodgers, this was in the 23 season. Yes, the 2023 season. It's the first game. Aaron Rodgers at the Jets. He runs out with the American flag. It's the night game. This is amazing. I remember sitting down and watching that game like, this kicks butt. This is great. Like, I'm into this. I don't love Aaron Rodgers, but I was totally into this.
Mhm.
And he lasted 4 plays. So sad against the Bills. Now they did win that game in overtime, but it was so sad. And I remember him looking up, I think at Garrett Wilson, and being like, sorry kid, it's gone. And it was so sad, and he was done for the year.
There was a tweet during that time where it was like Aaron Rodgers highlights, and it was just a video of him carrying the flag down.
to like the NFL films music. Dun, 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 dun. It's so sad. So on just face value, and we didn't even get into the specific games where the Jets have crushed their fans' dreams, but on face value, a quick flyby through their history, they have got all of the hallmarks of a miserable fan base, a playoff drought, an absolute peak of offseason hope crushed in 4 plays, and just a cycle at quarterback as they look for somebody to lead them. I wish it was Justin Fields, but I don't think it's going to be. Just somebody to lead them. Jets fans, we are here for you. We love you. I'm sorry that you used to be called the Titans, and I hope things turn around for you.
And to tie it all together, the Cleveland Browns will be playing at the New York Jets this week.
Oh, look at that.
2-6
planned it.
Cleveland Browns and the 1-7 New York Jets.
Good
Yeah, we actually don't
gracious.
tell each other the deep dives, so that was funny that connected.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
thank you, Trevor, for the deep dive. And before we continue, let's give credit where credit's due. Here's our next sponsor.
This portion of the Misery Sports Company podcast is brought to you by Accidental Wins. Wow, your favorite team just knocked off Auburn and their coach got fired. How awesome is that? No one saw that coming, and now you get to laugh at your SEC rivals. But wait, they're laughing at you now. It's because they know if you had just lost, it would be your coach that got fired. You would have finally been free of Mark Stoops. But
oh, no.
now you aren't. You will never be free of him and Mike or whatever the hell. All because of accidental wins.
God bless them. God bless the Stoops family for continuing to keep our lights on. The coffee brewing and the rest of us are continuing on this stretch of misery. So now it is time for pep talks. Trevor, could you give me a full emotional audit and distribute optimism like office supplies?
You know that I can. My pep talk this week, and I'm hesitant to do it because earlier when we talked about the Mavericks, it was such a bummer. It was such a bummer. So I'm not going to go the Mavericks route. We pep talked Kyrie. He's going to be fine. He's going to save our franchise. It's totally fine. My pep talk this week is for Stars captain Jamie Benn. Zach mentioned earlier that I'm a big Stars fan. We share Stars love. We also got love for the Jackets, but I'm a big Stars fan. Jamie Benn is one of those players where if he's on your team, you love him. Everybody else kind of hates him, but we love him. He's been our captain for a long time, but he's getting older, and this might be it for him. He's been injured, so unfortunately he's working his way back, but he's getting close. He's skating now. And so I just want to give him a pep talk. Chubbs, if I can call you that, that's his nickname. I don't know if I've earned that. I probably haven't. I need a longer beard or something, missing teeth, but Chubbs, we all love you, buddy. And you're coming back, and this might be it. And I know it's probably heavy on your heart that you got to pass that C on your chest to somebody. I just want you to know you've been an incredible captain. Even when you were cross-checking Mark Stone into oblivion and got a major penalty and maybe cost us that series in the playoffs against the Golden Knights, I still loved you through that. I think you are an amazing player. Come back strong as an ox, because we need you to mix it up this season, but just let it rip, have fun, ride it out, and we'll get that number 14 in the rafters. We love you, buddy. Can't wait to see you. Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
How about you, Zach? Who you pepping up this week?
So last week, I targeted a fan base. We hit up the Dallas Maverick fans. I'm actually going to stick with a fandom again, and I'm going to give a pep talk to the Toronto Blue Jays.
They need it.
I know that you had 2 games at home to win the World Series. Yeah. I know that even into the further innings, or the longer the game wore out in Game 7, you had that opportunity to grab it.
Yeah,
it was a really entertaining series. I loved watching it. There were a lot of star players. They showed out. Hang in there, Blue Jays fans. That was a really tough loss. I have actually been in your shoes. So with Cleveland Cavaliers, we ended up losing 3 out of the 4 championship series we had with the Golden State Warriors. Of course, we won 1. That was fantastic.
Yep.
But the pain of being that close is definitely something that we recognize and respect at Misery Sports Co. We've all been there. We absolutely feel your pain and agony. But pull yourselves off the mat. That was a fantastic series. That was a fantastic playoff run, and you've got a lot of great players. So hang in there. Next season is going to be great. This goes out to those Toronto Blue Jay fans.
Stay strong, Blue Jay fans. We love you.
So this is another week done at Misery Sports Co., balancing disappointment with compliance and just enough hope to stay operational. We hope you'll become employees here by subscribing to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pocket Cast, Pandora, Fountain, CurioCaster, yep. Good Pods, Cast-O-Matic, Breeze, Podbean, iHeartRadio, or wherever else you listen to your shows. Following us on X and checking out our new website, miserysportsco.com. Until next week, I'm Zach.
And I'm Trevor.
See you next time.